Hello, Aries. Elsie here to do your reading. How are you, friends? Birthday babies. Happy birthday to you, my friends. I hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for clicking here. I'm here to do a weekly reading. But Aries, as I pick a deck here, did you feel that? It's April the 11th today, and things are starting to line up in your sign. And you know there's a lot going on. There's a whole lot of stuff going on in the month of April for you, but can you feel the engine revving? Because ready or not, here we go. Are you ready? Buckle in, friends. So, for those of you who are feeling the shift, yep, that's your cue to buckle up. So, Aries, April the 11th, engines on, energy rising, everything's engaged, right? Hope you're ready. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, please go see your nearest astrologer because it's too much for me to mention before a reading. All right. First, you know what I'm going to do first is I'm going to tell you to thank you for being here. I hope that you will come back if you've never been here before. And if you are someone who keeps coming back and you're my ride or die, I'm grateful that you're here. So thanks so much for showing up here. At the end of this video, I'm going to tell you how to find the extendeds. I'm also going to tell you how to find a private reading if you need a little bit of clarity through this time. Let's find out what is going on. I've got the Places Oracle. We're going to throw 3 of these, and then we're going to go with the 9-card draw. Let's find out what's going on for you, Aries. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter signs, not just sun signs. Let's find out what's going on here. You cuspies, too. My fire family, what's going on for Aries, please? All right. What do we got here? The winds of change are here, my friend. Look at that. The winds of change are here. It says windswept region, breezy gusts, whirling winds, airy expanse, and dancing leaves. Yeah, it feels like a bit of a tornado. I'm just going to say, we've got the garden, though. It says floral delights, gardening joy, blossoming colors, and plant care. Look, I feel like whatever is revving up for you this month, Aries, it's all for your good. It's all for things to become more colorful, for you to see things clearer, for you to tell you to stop and smell the roses, friends. Stop just running at the things that you want, and please stop to smell the roses. Look, when you're downwind from these roses and the wind comes through, you're going to smell all of the beautiful scents and floral delights here. I feel like for some of you that this month and the month of April is your month to harvest what you've sown. So if it says here gardening joy, blossoming colors, I feel like something here is blossoming for you, and this is your month where everything is going to rev up. Like it says the forest cabin. It says secluded retreat, cozy fireplace, remote getaway. I think for some of you, this might be your time to plan. And so even though you might not be going to the cabin or might not be going to a retreat of any kind, I feel like this is a time for you to really, I would say, take a look out the window. You see those leaves going round and round and round? I'm going to say, like, it feels like a bit of a tornado's about to show up, but I feel like it's only because it's supposed to turn you around to go in a different direction. That's what it feels like here. You've got the park. It says Nature's Haven, recreational space, and picnic retreat. But look, there's a path. So I feel like you're on the right path, friend, but I feel like as you walk through the path, the winds are going to kick up. The winds of change are here, and I think things are about to change up for you. Sit back, because I feel like it's going to be a movie. I'm just saying the cinemas here, it says Silver Screen Theater Movie Night Film Festival. So I feel like it's going to be like you watching everything go by, like it is the movie of your life. Okay, let's get to the 9-card draw. Oh, look at that. What was this? Interesting. Oh, the Empress is in the reverse. Okay, well, we'll maybe come across that later. Let's talk about you, Aries. Did you notice it started really weird? I grabbed the wrong deck, and then I put it back, and then I started with this deck, because that's what I've been starting with everyone else's reading. And then all of a sudden this card shows up in the midst of all of these other cards. So I'm going to say that things aren't as they seem, and things are going to be showing up in weird places, maybe surprisingly. And I feel like everything is going to be moving so quickly here, you might be trying to slow it down. Look, when Aries is trying to slow shit down, you know it's going too fast. So that's what it feels like. It feels like the winds are about to gust, and you might just end up holding on for dear life. Let's find out what's going on for Aries. We've got the 2 of Pentacles. We've got the World card. Okay, look, this is the moment of decision. I'm going to say no more going round and round and round. No more going back and forth. No more wobbles, friend. This is going to be the time where you're going to be making decisions that are going to lead you ultimately to the finish line. Going to lead you ultimately to making decisions that put you in a place of, hey, this is a milestone for me. I've never done this before. I've never been here before. It's an achievement, friend. So I feel like there is the end of a chapter is coming up, and that might be why the winds are kicking up, why everything's in a whirlwind, because you're going to be making decisions that are going to be on point, I'm going to say. You're going to be making decisions here to keep yourself in balance, and some of those are going to be doors that you are closing. Look at that. I feel like the World card is here because it's removing some sort of a block. It's like I'm closing the door on the blocks that I have been dealing with up to here. I don't think you want to deal with these blocks anymore. So I feel like the universe is forcing you to listen to your intuition, to get yourself in balance before you make this very, very important decisions. Look, the World card is boxed in by twos. Twos are always about decision making, sharp decisions, and decisions that are going to get you out of the wobble. But you know what, hey, when you make these decisions, you're never going back. So that's why this has been so hard for you, I think, to do up to here. But all the energies that are coming up here, I don't know if you guys have even looked at the astrological wheel and everything that's lined up from Taurus to Aries. It's crazy. But this month is going to shift everything for you here. It's going to shift everything because look at that, the Fool showing up. Once you gain your balance, once you stop wobbling or waffling on a decision that you're making, you'll make it so in the 3D, and then there's no going back because you're cutting out one path or the other. This is this or that. And so the Fool card is here saying it's exhilarating, it's exciting, and I want to say that it's now, this time now is when you're making the decisions because you've gained wisdom. Look at the wisdom on that person's face. They're taking off the mask. I no longer have to hide. I'm taking responsibility for the leap I'm about to take. I will take the responsibility of making the decision, but I'm going to do it. Tell me more. We've got the Four of Cups. I think that you are coming out of your comfort zone. Aries, I feel like I'm talking to somebody who has a comfort zone of doing the things that are good for you, but that are good for you as long as everyone approves of it. You know what I mean? I feel like you are a person who's making decisions for yourself, yes, but I feel like it's almost like you got to check with this one, check with that one, check with the partner, check with the family, check with the kids. It feels like you are jumping out of that comfort zone and you're about to take a leap because look, you're closing the door on the waffling or the wobbling here. No more wobbles, no more back and forth. You're just going for it and making decisions that are going to make you take a leap out of this comfort zone. I think that the thing that worries you the most, I feel, is that people are going to reject your ideas. But I'm going to say that you will come to this place of this Hanged Man in reverse. Look, the Hanged Man in the reverse is no longer in a pause. The Hanged Man in reverse has their perspective. I've gone over it enough. I know what I'm doing. It took me a long time to get here. Scorpio, Taurus, Aquarius, Leo. Fixed signs, right? That's why I'm saying when you make the decision, you're not going back ever. So when you close the door, you're making a permanent decision to leave something behind and you're never going to go back there because that's what the fixed signs are all about. They take a very, very long time to make a decision because they're never going to want to have to do the cha-cha and go back and forth. So the Hanged Man tells me you're about to come to some sort of realization. It feels like a moment of epiphany where you see your perspective and you see something from a different point of view, and that's why you're able to cut out one path and go with the other. We've got the Six of Cups. We've got the Seven of Wands, and we've got the Four of Wands. I feel like you are likely to leap out of a comfort zone, but I want to say that with this new enlightenment that you have with the Hanged Man in reverse, this is going to make it really easy to stand up for yourself, to stabilize your life. Now, we've got the Four of Wands here, right? And the Four of Wands is celebration, but it's also stability. It's also stability of your fire. So you understand that it feels like somebody here is growing up from the Knight of Wands to the King of Wands, because the King of Wands is in control of their fire. And having stability in your fire, this is literally Aries energy, having stability in your fire is what you've wanted, but in order to have that, you've got to stand up, because that's what Leo would do. Leo wouldn't have it any other way. Stand up and say, look, I've got to draw the boundary right here. I have to do this thing because it's what I've always wanted to do, and I think it's the best thing for me. I feel like it's something you've always wanted to do. Whatever I'm talking about, it's something that has been in your sights since you were youngin', since you were really young. The thing is that at the center of the reading is the heart of the matter, and I think that ultimately you're going to have to take a leap out of your comfort zone and also going to have to reject the ideas of other people. Let's talk about the World card. Tell me more about the World card, please. Tell me more about the World card. We've got the Three of Swords. We've got the Strength card in reverse. Very interesting. Look, it feels like you run the whole damn race. It feels like you run the marathon. You've been on this path for a while, walking, running, jogging, running, walking, running, sitting down, getting up, drinking enough water. It feels like you've been doing this marathon for a long time. And I feel like when you get finally to the finish line, it feels like you stop right at the finish line. And you're like, I know I'm never going back. Leo energy. Leo's a fixed sign. I know I'm never going back. Is this the place I want to be? Is this the step I want to take? So I feel like the Three of Swords is here to say you stop for a moment and think, gosh, this is not going to be good for everybody. They're going to be somebody, 2 swords, 3 of swords, that's 5 swords. There's people who have fundamental differences with the decisions I'm about to make. So I feel like the Strength card in the reverse tells me you no longer hold back. Even though you know some people are going to be disappointed in your decision to close the chapter with them, or in spite of them, it feels like there is something that you can no longer hold back that you're just going to say. Look, the Knight of Swords is Gemini. It's not like Gemini can't read the room. Gemini can read the room just fine. And Gemini knows what to say, when to say it, and when not to say it, but Gemini's going to say it anyway. So I feel like you could have a Gemini rising possibly, or a Gemini moon, but it feels like regardless, the Knight of Swords is just going to say it. I'm just going to throw it out there, and then you're going to have to sort it out. I'm just going to tell you, the door is closing. I'm at the end of a chapter. I can no longer hold back. I can't hold back with this anymore, and not everybody is going to agree with me, and that's okay. I'm willing to take the responsibility that's going to come with me taking a leap of faith here, with me jumping out of this comfort zone. And I realize that you may reject my ideas, reject me emotionally, but I feel like with this Hanged Man in the reverse, it's beckoning you. It's time. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw the Judgment card. Tell me more. We've got the Ten of Swords. Yeah. You know what it is I feel like you're taking control. It feels like you're taking control. It's exhilarating and terrifying. You're taking a leap of faith and saying, no more. I'm not allowing people past the boundary that are going to disappoint me, that are going to hurt me, that are going to make me overthink myself or overthink my position. This, although it is a hard ending. It's really harsh because it's swords, right? It could be a hard conversation. 5 swords, right? Fundamental differences. I don't want you to do it. I don't care if you don't want me to do it. You said you were going to do one thing. Now you're doing another. You're like, yeah, that's right. I am. I'm moving on, right? 3, 4, 5, and 1 is 6. So the Ten of Swords here is telling me, can I get that? Hang on. The Ten of Swords is telling me, ooh, man, the Tower is here. That there is something here that I feel like happens in a moment that is unexpected. And what I mean by that is I really do believe that you are planning, or you have been planning to do what you're about to do, or the things, it could be multiples, that you're about to do. But I feel like it happens in a moment. Do you know what I mean? It's like I get into an argument with somebody about the right and the wrongs of things and the moral values and the fundamental differences, and boom, I drop the tower. Well, guess what? I'm out. Or guess what? I'm not talking with you about this anymore. And you take the leap of faith directly into the tower and you release it, boom, on the moment. That's what it feels like. Something shifts immediately. And so even though you had planned it up to here, I feel like you weren't expecting to say it right now, but somebody pushes your button. That's what it feels like. And then all of a sudden you release. Yeah. I think that with the Tower falling and the Fool here and the Ten of Swords, that it's a huge release. And I feel like you're releasing something that you've been carrying around for a long, long while here. You are unburdening yourself by just saying it. Tell me what the Hanged Man is about here. We got the Hanged Man in the reverse, which is this moment of clarity. Tell me what this is. You now have your perspective that you are the creator of your own reality. I think that you were being held back by what the thoughts of other people were. And, you know, I feel like although some of you are probably not all that concerned with what other people say, it could be, listen, in a family sense. Or it could be in a relationship sense where you figured out that the person you're with is not growing and you want to continue to grow and they're trying to get you to hold back because they're scared to go to the place where you are. So I feel like you've realized that you are the creator of your own reality. And I think that you are going to, and that's the thing, I think that the Knight of Pentacles is telling me that you've been in this place for a long while now. You've been in this place for a while where I am looking over all the details. I know what I'm doing. I know it's right for me. There's nothing that's out of place. I don't care how long it takes me to get to the end of the marathon, but I have at the end here realized that I can create my own reality because I hold all the cards. I hold, well, quite literally, but I hold all the aces. I can do whatever I want. The thing is that you do understand that some people are not going to be happy with you. And I think you're hoping that you will not regret this move. That you will not regret whatever it is that you are leaping into. It doesn't feel bad. I'm going to say, you all know I'm an energy reader. I don't feel like this is bad. I think it's good for you, but the only reason that people disagree with it is because it's not going to benefit them. It's going to benefit you. You are stepping fully into your Aries energy because Aries is about the self. And I think there's an Aries here who's been living very selflessly, but it hasn't been helping you get to the point you want to get to in your life. Why is the Seven of Wands here? Because I feel like this is, yep, you're standing up, friend. Look at that. The sun is here. What you're revealing to them is now I'm about to stand up for myself and create some boundaries. You're no longer going to be able to take over the way I feel about things or how I chase my passions. We've got the Page of Swords. You've done your homework here, friend, and you're already beginning to rebuild, whether that's in your head or in the 3D. I feel like you're already starting to rebuild. You know what you want to do from here. It's like you've already got a plan, and you've been preparing for it. It feels like you've been preparing for this plan to build something new with a new group of people or in a new community, or maybe you say to your spouse, look, it's time to sell the house. We need to get out of this. We need to get out of this neighborhood, or it's time for us to move to a different state or a different province or a different country. And that might cause a fundamental difference. Do you see what I mean? It doesn't have to be a relationship, but use whatever lens you brought here today. But the sun is here. There is nothing that you've missed out on. There is not a detail that you haven't seen that you haven't planned for. So I'm saying you're taking an educated leap of faith. Fool in the upright is always an educated leap of faith. Still terrifying. Still taking a leap, but nonetheless, I'm doing it with a lot of knowledge about what's below the cliff, right? So I do feel that what's being revealed to you is that I've done enough homework. I've done all my homework. It's time for me to send out the message and let people know what it is that I am about to do. And it's not going to make those codependent ones be happy about it at all. They're not going to be happy, Aries. Yeah, in fact, some of them might even fight you on it. But look, you are fully stepping into your Emperor energy. You're fully stepping into your Emperor energy. You know what this feels like? King of Swords. That you're just saying, look, I'm just going to be honest with you, man. I'm just going to be honest with you. It's time for me to fight for what I believe in, and I'm cutting the ties that bind me. The people who are not going to be happy with you, Aries, are the ones who depend on you for something. The ones who are codependent. They're the ones trying to talk you out of it. Don't let them talk you out of it. We're going to go to the extended. If you want to be in the extended, I'm going to clarify the rest of this. We're going to talk more about what's going on here with the park or the cinema, what's going on here, and how you'll know when this moment is showing up. If you want to come with us into the extended, then please look at the top of the comments. There is a pinned comment, and in that comment, when you click on read more, you will see that there is a link there for the membership. That's where all these extendeds go if you'd like to come and join us there. If you are interested in a private read, please know private reads are open and I am caught up. So if you are as somebody who's interested in a private read, and please know that my private reads that are pre-recorded begin at $25 and go up from there. And the readings that are live, those start at between 5 and 75% off, depending, even if you're a returning person. Look, we don't even have to talk about tarot. We can talk about anything. You need some information? give it to me. I'll give you an answer based on whatever the cards tell us. I'm going to go for now. Thank you so much for being here and watching. I will be in the extended if that's where you are, but if you're not, that's okay. Happy birthday, friends, and I'll be back because I'm always back. Take care of you. Bye-bye.